What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here, and I wanted to talk to you about my Lamborghini LP640 that I had. I ended up selling it when I got the 488. I had to shuffle cars because obviously I'm not made of money. And it's unfortunate. I was going to keep that car longer, but part of the history of that car, I mean, I talked about the dead rapper Murcielago. I don't think the entire history of that car was sort of known by everybody. There's two cool stories about that car that I'd like to share. One being that, as you know, it was used in a promotion called Push for Pizza, and they wrapped it and brought it to a bunch of different college campuses and events. They wrapped it as like a pepperoni pizza. So you had this car, there's a Lamborghini going around, wrapped up like a pizza. Now, the thing that really annoyed me is that when that car was on the event, the guys damaged it. All they had to do was bring it on and off a trailer. It was not being driven. It was just essentially drive it off the trailer, put it on display, drive it back onto the trailer. And they damaged the side skirt. The side skirts on the Lamborghini stick out further. So I was always like cautious about the front bumper or the side skirts. Those were my concerns. But they took more pizza and threw it on top of it. So like more wrap. So I didn't notice, and come time to unwrap the car a month or two later after everybody's been paid, I take the wrap off and I'm like, son of a bitch, they damaged the car, and they didn't tell me about it. That sort of annoyed me. That's one of those things that you never want to find. But I had to repaint the side skirt then, and then such is life. But just the fact that the car was once a rolling Pizzaghini, we'll call it, Lambo Pizza, I don't know. You come up with your own hashtags. But that was a pretty interesting event that we did, and it went on for a couple of months. I think it was 3 or 4 months. Now, the other thing that people don't know about that car is that car was actually also in the movie 22 Jump Street. Yeah, you know, Jonah Hill scratching it up. And I see it in the movie. I'm like, oh, he just smashed the front end into the ground. It's not him or a stunt driver, whoever it was, and whatever takes they did. The take that made it into the movie was them absolutely smashing the front end into the ground. And I was like, ah. And it's really designed to scrape, and they paid good enough money for it, so I didn't really care that much. But it's like, son of a gun. Now I know what you're saying, Rob. Wait, it wasn't a black Lamborghini. They wrapped the entire car. And not only did they wrap the entire car, they shipped the car and paid for it to be shipped to Puerto Rico. So they filmed 22 Jump Street, at least the scenes with my Lamborghini, was in Puerto Rico. And it's cool. It's like cool to be like, well, less cool to say my car was dressed up like a pizza, but it is cooler to be like, I had a car that was featured in the movie. Although, and you may see it in the movie when the doors are open or something. I think they even did the door jams. But just to say that my car was in the movie is pretty cool. So Jonah Hill, not gonna lie, I'll just assume he was driving and it wasn't a stuntman. He whacked up my Lambo. That's cool. Like that's a cool thing to be able to say. Yeah, it's just like, it's cool to and I didn't sell it as a car from the movie. I didn't sell it as a pizza car. I just sold it just to get rid of it. But and ultimately I think I sold it for like 140 grand. Which was not a lot. That's cheap for an LP640. I guarantee you're not going to find an LP640 for anything near that money from now until forever. Just looking at the prices of Diablos and you name it, those V12s are always good money. So it is what it is. I figured it was an interesting story to share with you guys. I don't know. I don't think I have very many other cars. Like I've had some of my cars. The 488, the GT3, the Blue 360 were featured in the show Billions. My personal cars I make available for movie rentals. My old Buick, the one that my grandfather gave me, the 48 Buick, that was in the beginning of the very opening scene, the very first shot in the movie Jersey Boys. It was my old Buick strolling down the road. My Range Rovers have been in the thing with, I don't even remember her name anymore, Madam President, Madam Secretary, and it's just like, there's no shortage of every car that you see in a movie is probably rented, and it's pretty cool to be, and I really don't care, but my cars have been featured quite often because I make them available for that sort of stuff. But anyway, figured it was an interesting story. You may think that, you may not, but now when you go back and watch 22 Jump Street, you'd be like, that's Rob's car. I see the calipers, I see the wheels, I see like, I don't know if there's any telltale sign that it was wrapped that's viewable in the movie that made the cut, but now that you know, when you watch it, you're going to think of me, and that's cool. See you next time.